Good morning and welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting of the Board of Public Works for Monday, March 1st, 2019.
Commissioner Garcia, Cabello, and Davis are present. Vice President Cabello, we do have a quorum. May we start with Bureau introductions, starting with Bureau of Street Lighting, please.
Jay Wong, Street Lighting.
Al Bazi, Street Services.
Good morning, John Olinger, Bureau of Contract Administration.
Good morning, Matt Elon, Bureau of Engineering.
Good morning, Mike Mullen, Bureau of Sanitation.
Good morning, Lori Rittenberg, City Attorney.
Fernando Campos, Executive Officer. Vice President Cabello, we do not have any speaker cards under general public comment. We also do not have any commentary under the Neighborhood Council comment section. We did not receive any speaker cards on any of the items for today's regular agenda.
Hearing no speaker cards on general public comment, let's go ahead and close general public comment. Let's also close the Neighborhood Council commentary as well. That takes us to our first item of business, approval of 2 sets of minutes for the meetings of January 25th, 2019, that's Friday, January 25th, and Monday, January 28th, 2019. Is there a second in my motion to approve both meeting minutes? Both Commissioners Davis and Garcia second. Any objections? Obviously not. Hearing none, the items have been approved. This takes us to our first item on the agenda, item 1 in Council District 11, revised sole source task order, solicitation number 10, AECOM Technical Service, Inc., recommending the board authorize the city engineer to issue a revision to task order solicitation number 10 to AECOM, increasing the budget authority from $601,989 to $849,915 for design support services during bid and award and construction phases for the Argo Drain Sub-Basin Facility Project. Our representative today is Mr. Alan Wang. Mr. Wang.
Good morning, Commissioners. Alan Wang with BOE. Okay. Back in 2013, the board authorized the award of TOS number 13 to AECOM to provide the design services for the Argo Drain project for a total amount of $2.75 million. And in July 2017, when the Argo project was in bid and award phase, the pre-qualified consultant list expired. So we subsequently awarded TOS 10 back to AECOM again with a new TOS number 10 for the remaining amount of $601,000. And 2.15 was expended in the previous TOS. So, however, in September 2017, the bids came in at 44% to 84% higher than the city engineer estimate. So after the bid, BOE, we spent 9 extra months on acquiring additional fundings, including LAWA fundings. And AECOM also provided the additional engineering support during the extra 9 months of bid and award. And finally, in let's see, October, in July last year, and the project finally is awarded to OHL for the amount of $35 million. So, in addition, the proper added clarifier tank discharge line and also the archaeologist monitoring required by LAWA. So we are asking $248,000 additional funding for AECOM, which includes an $80,000 contingency that will bring the total amount from $601,000 to $850,000.
Colleagues, any questions?
Could you tell me about the experience on business inclusion?
Yes. So for AECOM, it's actually 2 different TOSs, as I mentioned. And during the first TOS, TOS 13, that was awarded back in 2013, they actually did pretty well. That was during the MIBI-WIBI period. So the MIBI goal was 12%, and they actually hit 10.85%. And for the WIBI, the goal was back then was 2%, and AECOM hit 4.9%, and with a total subcontract of 33%, so they did pretty well. However, the new task is actually the design services during the construction. So the opportunity to do business inclusion is more difficult. So the total subs they have for the new task is 18%. However, for the MIBI, they are only able to reach 2.75%, with our goal, the board's goal is 15%. However, for the WEB and the small business, we have a goal of 4% and 20%. AECOM is pledging 9%. It's actually the same company. That's both the WEB and the small business.
Good. And so the challenge that they've had, I guess, has been on the MB area in terms of achieving the goals that they had anticipated. Is that pretty
Correct. The goal is 15%. They only have 2.75%.
What do you think is the gap there in terms of us achieving the goal there for them? What were some of the barriers that
Part of the reason is for this task is focus on the construction design services during construction, and most of the work will be done by the prime. It's less opportunities to be sourced out to the subs. It is more difficult to find subs to provide the design services during construction.
Now, when we anticipated this work, we had a goal. Our aspiration was to have, what was it, 10% or 12%? How much was it initially? How much did we anticipate going into the project that we would look at?
Going into the project was 10% with MIBI and 4.9%.
So we anticipated 10%. We only were able to realize 2%. You said that the barriers were that we weren't able to find MBEs.
The 10%, 10.85% for MIBI was the previous task 13 from 2013
Sure.
to 2000. So actually the task ended. That was the actual performance, which also include a portion of the during the construction phase.
So in fact, there was a time that we had 10% MIBI?
Yes, that's the actual performance. But that's only during the design phase of the project.
So during the design phase, we had a goal of achieving 10%, and we were able to realize the 10%. And then we went down to 2% in what phase?
During the construction phase.
So in the construction phase in and of itself, we weren't able to. We anticipated during the construction phase that we would be able to achieve 10%, though, didn't we? Wasn't that our goal? I mean, wasn't that our vision, if you will?
Yes, during the original task was expected for both the design and the construction
That's what I
phase
thought.
combined.
That's what
Yes.
I thought. But we just weren't able to do it because I'm trying to get to the bottom line as to, in this realistic case, why we weren't able to achieve that in the construction phase.
I see.
Because we weren't able to find any
Well,
minority businesses.
another way to look at it is the construction expenditure for the project for AECOM is actually smaller than the entire project. It's about 30% of their total expenditure for the entire services for AECOM during the construction phase.
So we didn't anticipate the impact of the budget when we aspired to look at 10% in the beginning. Is that?
Yes, and they did achieve 10% during the design phase.
We would not have been upset if we had achieved 10% in the construction phase, would we have been? I'm not saying, I know we did not, but I'm just trying to anticipate and better understand.
Yeah, back then the 10% was the combine of design and construction.
That's what I thought.
Yes, yes,
And
that
I'm
is
trying to
correct.
understand the gap here in terms of why we weren't able to, and you said it's because of the funds. We didn't have adequate funds that would have allowed us to go out and, I guess, to secure and get an agreement with some of more minority business enterprises. That was pretty much the case, right?
Yes, yeah.
We need to look at that and explore a little bit further as we move forward with with a firm with the wherewithal of AECOM moving forward. And I know, you can't wave a magic wand in all circumstances, but good. I'm glad to be able to hear your explanation for that. And in a perfect world, it would be great if we, as we move forward, would get lucky enough to be able to achieve more in the construction phase as well.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Commissioner Davis. Commissioner Garcia?
Thank you, Vice President Cabello. I have questions regarding the actual project. Has the construction actually started already?
Yes, the construction is about 20% completed. It is in construction, yes. It's expected to complete end of 2020.
Okay, that was my next question.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for the clarification.
No further questions. And with that, is there a second to my motion to adopt this item? Dr. Davis seconds. I'll send this item forthwith without objection. Thank you,
you.
Mr. Wayne. Item number 2 in Council Districts 5 and 11, request to terminate SCS Renewable Energy Mountain Gate LLC franchise agreement. Recommending the board, 1, approve the termination of the SCS Renewable Energy Mountain Gate LLC pipeline franchise agreement. 2, authorize the president to sign the County of Los Angeles preliminary change of ownership report form. And 3, request the petroleum administrator to report back on the final satisfaction by the city of the abandoned pipeline work and other finalized documents or findings needed to fully terminate ordinance number 184976. Mr. Uduak Ntuk, please step forward. Good morning.
Vice President Cabello, Public Works Commissioners, and Public Works representatives. Today's request is a culmination of about a year and a half worth of work to terminate franchise number 184976. SCS Renewable Energy is in good standing with their annual fee, with their bond and their insurance levels. This was a pipeline franchise that transported landfill methane gas that went from Mountain Gate landfill, former landfill site, to UCLA, where they burned it in their on-campus power plant, or cogen, and part of their sustainability plan of using non-fossil fuels for energy generation on campus. They requested, and they no longer have the agreement with UCLA. They requested in writing to terminate their franchise according to Section 4.7 of our franchise agreement. There's steps that have to go through of requesting and approving of their abandonment plan. They need to have an inspection of it, which has been done by the federal PHMSA, which is Pipeline Safety Hazardous Materials Administration. And then when this happens and the work is completed, which it is, we take ownership of the pipeline. So it's been abandoned in place in West LA. And part of the final ratification of closing it out is we have to get it recorded with the County Registrar Recorder's Office. So part of the packet has the form that needs to be signed by a member of either the president or 2 members of the board to send to the county. And then once the county processes it, we'll come back to a final report back and close out the franchise. And then at that point, we can relinquish their bond that they have on record, and that will officially terminate the franchise agreement. So key documents in here is the assignment and transfer agreement. There was negotiated with our city attorney and their attorneys that talks about, if anything in the future, and transferring ownership of liability management. So that document's attached. Also, there's pictures and examples of the pipeline abandonment process, what it looked like before and after, copies of the inspector's form, legal descriptions and drawings of the pipelines included there. So this is going to have a negative fiscal impact. We were getting approximately $40,000 a year in annual franchise fees that will cease going forward. So at that point, I'll take any questions.
Colleagues, any questions? Nope. Okay. I'll go ahead and move this item. Do I have a second? Seconded by both Commissioners Garcia and Davis. We'll send that item forthwith without objection. Thank you. Item number 3, Authority for Expenditure, State Water Resource Control Board, Bureau of Sanitation, and Office of Accounting requesting the board to approval and execution of an authority for expenditure in the amount of $3,592 for a new adjusted amount of $29,686 for annual renewal for Environmental Monitoring Division ELAP certificate for the period between July 1st, 2019 to June 30th, 2020. And we have Mr. Mahesh Pujari. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. I am Dr. Mahesh Pujari, and I'm the Assistant Division Manager of the Environmental Monitoring Division. And it is my opportunity to tell you today what you do really. Maybe we don't know us. Actually, City of Los Angeles has a very important permit issued to from Regional Water Board and US EPA, like NPDES, we discharge to river and ocean. MS4 stormwater permit, groundwater permit issued to the landfill, and hazardous waste permit for disposal in the landfill. So we have so many permits, and we really have one of the largest laboratory in the country really. And we have 4 laboratories to comply with the testing requirement. And today I am here to asking your approval for a ELAP fee to be paid to the Terminal Island Laboratory. And without this fee, we cannot have a laboratory certificate renewal, or laboratory cannot operate. So that is the need I'm here for, and if you have any question, I'll be happy to answer.
And will you state for the record what ELAP stands for?
Yeah, ELAP is Environmental Laboratory Accreditation Program, and it is a branch under the Division of Drinking Water under the State Water Board.
It's important to me to have these things stated for the record, as not everyone knows what ELAP is, myself included, until we got this AFE. Any questions, colleagues? Okay, without objection, is there a second to my motion? Okay, thank you, Dr. Davis. Dr. Davis seconds, and we will send that forthwith without objection. Dr. Campos, does this clear the desk? Thank you, sir.
Yes, it does.
For the special. We'll close the special, and will you please call, I'm sorry, we'll close the regular, and will you please call the roll for the special meeting?
Absolutely. Roll call for the special meeting for the Board of Public Works for today, March 1st, Friday. We have Commissioner Garcia, Vice President Cabello, and we have Commissioner Davis. Vice President Cabello, you do have a quorum to begin the special. We do not have any speaker cards under general public comment. We have no commentary under the Neighborhood Council comment section, and no speaker cards received on the special item number 1.
Okay, hearing no speaker cards on general public comment or Neighborhood Council commentary, let's go ahead and close both. And that will take us to our first item on today's special agenda. Item number 1, an administrative item transmitting communication that the Mayor and City Council have approved and authorized the President or 2 members of the Board of Public Works to execute the proposed contract amendments to personal services contracts with recycled service providers, CalMet Services, Inc., NASA Services, Inc., Ware Disposal, Inc., USA Waste of California, Inc., Arachelian Enterprises, Inc., Consolidated Disposal Services, LLC, and Universal Wastewater Systems, Inc. Members, this was an item that the Board approved on February 15th, 2019, subject to the Mayor and City Council approval. Are there any questions before I make a motion? None? Wonderful. Is there a second to my motion to adopt item 1 forthwith on the special? Both Commissioners Davis and Garcia second my motion. Without objection, we will send the item forthwith. And Dr. Campos, does this clear the desk for the special?
Yes, it does.
Wonderful. With that, let's close the special meeting and adjourn today's regular and special meetings, and have a great weekend, everyone.